In 1998, there was a survey in Iceland asking if the locals believed in elves. And in that survey, 54% of the people asked said yes. It is believed that these elves live just like humans do. They go to church, live in houses, they farm and tend to livestock. But they are invisible to us, and according to Icelanders, they do have magical abilities. Throughout the years, there have been tons of reports of machines breaking down or people randomly getting sprained ankles or broken legs while working in remote areas. The locals believe that this is a sign that they are working where elves live. In the 1970s, the government was building a road in northern Iceland, and the locals told them not to blow up the rocks because there were elves that lived there. And instead of ignoring these people, the government listened, and they built this road around these rocks. The locals say that the elves were very thankful that their homes weren't blown up, so they make sure the drivers driving down this road are safe. One Icelandic historian stated that it's always good to make deals with elves. They always keep their bargain. Then in 2010, a former member of the Icelandic parliament flipped his SUV in an icy road in southern Iceland, and he fell off a cliff. But amazingly, he was unharmed, and he later stated that a group of elves that were living in a boulder that was close to the cliff he fell off of saved his life. And a couple of years later, they were going to blow up this boulder to make a road. But instead, they picked it up with a crane and moved it to a safe location so the elves who lived within would be safe. One of the first accounts that made the elves of Iceland famous worldwide happened in 1971 when a man broke his tractor while he was trying to move some rocks. And he blamed this breakdown on elves, and this story became worldwide news because it's just so strange. He also told a story about when he was a kid, he wasn't supposed to cut the grass near a hayfield because there were hidden people that lived there. But one day, one of the farm workers cut the grass, and I'm not sure if he did it on purpose or by accident, but shortly after, he got tuberculosis. In some of the older elf stories, it was pretty common for livestock or a human to just drop dead if they walked too close to where elves live. Some people have even claimed that the elves warned them to stay away from their lands in their dreams. Now, still to this day, there's no proof that elves live in Iceland, or anywhere, but a couple of weeks ago I stumbled upon some footage that is interesting. One day a woman taking a nice little walk in the countryside stopped to film a waterfall, and in the footage, it looks like there's a strange looking tiny creature climbing or walking up a cliff. And this footage was taken in an area where it's believed that elves live. Now, the little people of Iceland were not called elves in the beginning. They were called hidden people. There's a story amongst the Icelandic people that provides an explanation for their existence. In the Garden of Eden before the fall of man, God came to visit Adam and Eve and requested to see their children. But at the time, Eve was washing them and only a few were clean, so she only showed God the clean ones. And God asked her if this was all the children, and she said yes. She didn't want God to see the dirty ones, so they must have been really dirty. Now, God knew she was lying, and he was upset. He wanted to meet all the children. So he told Eve that those who had been hidden from me will now always be hidden from man. Now, I find this story to be fascinating, as almost every culture that has ever existed has stories of little people who are invisible to us. Well, at least 99% of the time. Europe has leprechauns and the Fae folk. Native Americans also have stories of magical little people. The Native Hawaiians have the Minahune, and the list just goes on and on. I always kind of believed that if these tiny people do exist, then they're probably fifth-dimensional beings that watch us, protect us, and maybe try to guide us to become better human beings. Now, whatever the case may be, most people in Iceland believe without a shadow of a doubt that these hidden people do in fact exist. Until next time, this is Paranormal Junkie. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned.